The national capital will be on high alert once President Trump reaches New Delhi for the official part of his two-day visit. American and Indian flags have been placed along the iconic road. Now, this will be the scene of action on Tuesday, that is the 25th of February, when Trump arrives for his presidential welcome in New Delhi. An anti-drone team of the National Security Guard, snipers and elite commandos have been roped in to secure the area around the ITC Maurya Hotel, where the president will be staying during his visit to the capital. Police personnel from 6 districts and 40 companies of the CRPF will form a joint force that will look into security of the capital. The local administration is looking to acquire additional CCTV cameras to monitor the area. The route from ITC Maurya to the Delhi Government School, which First Lady Melania Trump is scheduled to visit, will also be under high security. Our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibbal, is joining us live from New Delhi this morning. Siddhant, we are gearing up for President Trump's arrival in India. Tomorrow are going to be a spate of official meetings as well. But before he arrives in India, Donald Trump has been talking about his good friend and good relationship that he shares with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, isn't it?
Well, yes, Shobit, in a short while from now, the US President Donald Trump will be arriving here in India, and there is, of course, palpable excitement here in India. We know he's going to land in Ahmedabad, where there will be a grand event, a road show, an event at the largest cricket stadium, which will be on the lines of the Howdy Modi event. But, of course, the political talks happen here in New Delhi on Tuesday, when both sides, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Donald Trump, sit together. Of course, the focus will be everything from defense partnership to trade facilitation to Indo-Pacific, something we have seen how both New Delhi and Washington have been very, very vocal about the new security challenges in Asia. But when we talk about the relationship between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President, we know that US President has many times used the word close friend for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And this is their 8th meeting which is taking place, which shows the high-level commitment and the personal investment both leaders have put in the relationship to make sure that New Delhi and Washington come together. But, of course, there are some thorny issues as well. We know that US President has spoken 4 times ahead of his visit, and during those 4 times he has talked about trade being one of the thorny issues. The high tariff is something that has been a cause of concern, with the US President publicly calling India a tariff king. So that remains the key issue. Of course, it now is clear that there will be no trade deal which is going to happen, and both US and India are looking at a larger FTA that could be announced from this visit till the elections are happening, before the elections are announced in the United States. But the key deliverables are also for United States, because remember, the US President Donald Trump comes here in an election year, and what is going to happen in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, in that cricket stadium, is something that will be nothing short of a rally. So clearly he is talking about India here in India, US President, but also focusing back home, the Indian diaspora, because whatever he says here in India, in Gujarat, is going to have a major impact back home, especially when there is election which is going to happen. And of course, we know he's quite excited about the millions and millions of people he expects to be there in Gujarat. From 6 million to 7 million to 10 million is the number he has been talking about.
Absolutely, Siddhant. Now, he has been, of course, talking about his great friendship with Prime Minister Modi. He has been talking about, he's actually looking forward to that Namaste Trump event at the Ahmedabad Stadium as well, largest cricket ground in the world. Trump has been talking about the numbers. Many reports suggest this may be Donald Trump's biggest rally as well, and it will be in India. One of the greatest welcomes for a foreign dignitary in India especially. But you were talking about the deliverables. Yes, trade deal will not be signed most probably in this visit. That's something for later. But what does India hope to get out of this visit? Of course, a strategic partnership, but there are certain defense deals that India is looking at as well, isn't it?
Well, defense, counter-terrorism and Indo-Pacific, the rise of China will be the three important things that are a giveaway, that are expected to happen, because we know that when it comes to defense, India and US have convergences. They have signed LEMOA, COMCASA, interoperability between the forces of Indian forces and the American forces, something that has been talked about. Last 2+2 happened in Washington in the month of December, and we know the press statements, in the press statement, a lot of things were announced. But other than that, it is Indo-Pacific, it is the challenges of terrorism, cross-border terrorism, that will be the main focus. Remember, ahead of this a crucial visit here in India, we know there was a briefing in Washington in which a question was asked about India and Pakistan, about Jammu and Kashmir as well, to which a senior State Department and the White House official said that they would like to see a dialogue between Islamabad and New Delhi, but for that Pakistan needs to act on the issue of terrorism. We know that Washington has backed New Delhi when it comes to listing of terrorists from Pakistan at FATF as well. So we know there are convergences, but how these convergences can be deepened. Also, the big elephant or the dragon in the room is China. We know that China is something that Washington is very wary about. New Delhi also has a very fragile relationship. We know this while this visit is happening, there is a big story. The story is that China hasn't given clearances to India's evacuation and relief flight. This is another big story. This shows that the peace between Beijing and New Delhi is very fragile, and for that India is looking for allies. Washington is looking for allies. There is Quad setup which has been put in place. It is at foreign ministers level now. Will it be upgraded at leaders level is something that everyone is going to talk about. But finally, the big thing is Afghanistan as well, because the visit happens in a week when US and Taliban are expected to sign that peace deal. Ahead of the visit, we know the US president said that he is willing to put his name to that deal. Will it happen or not depends on the situation in Afghanistan. But if the American forces leave Afghanistan, is bound to impact India, and India is bound to raise this as well during the visit of the US President Donald Trump.
Zanzibar getting us all the latest updates ahead of Donald Trump's arrival. Now, India is getting up to say Namaste Trump. The American president will have a packed schedule during his 2-day India visit. Now, we have for you the details and the itinerary. And over the next few minutes, we'll tell you what the 2-day visit is looking like. The President and the First Lady will be personally received by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister Modi and President Trump will then leave for the Motera Stadium for the Namaste Trump event in the city. After the event, Trump and his team will fly to Agra to visit the Taj Mahal today evening. Air Force One is expected to reach Agra by 4:30 p.m. this evening. After spending close to 1 hour at the Taj Mahal, the President will depart for New Delhi. Once they arrive in Delhi, they will be given an official welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on the 25th of February. Shortly after the ceremony, the first couple will head to Rajghat to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi. Now, this will be followed by talks and the release of a joint statement. Now, Trump is expected to wrap up his trip with a CEO roundtable at the US Embassy. Now, it will be the biggest visit in terms of a gathering for a foreign leader in India. Senior advisor to the United States President Jared Kushner will also be accompanying the Trump's presidential limousine called the Beast will be stopped 500 meters away from the Taj in accordance with Supreme Court rules. Right, we're all gearing up to that mega Namaste Trump event that will happen in just a few hours from now when Donald Trump arrives in India. Going across live now to Ahmedabad, my colleague Krishna Kumar is reporting for us live from outside the venue. Krishna, over to you. What are the security arrangements like and the excitement on the ground ahead of Trump's visit?
Right, Shobit, I'm right now at the spot where the entire media contingent for the Namaste Trump event are being picked up from and sent to the stadium, because bear in mind that all roads shut down starting 10 a.m. Because that's when the blockade of roads of the entire route of Trump's cavalcade from the airport to the stadium will be blocked off. So we cannot take regular transport over there. That's the reason why all the media people have assembled over here. Behind me are the buses, if I can show you. Multiple buses being lined up at this venue. National media, international media, local media, they're all over here congregated. We're all leaving from here taking these buses. There's going to be an extended security procedure for us, which I'm being told is going to take about an hour for us to complete. So it'll be at least 10 a.m. before we get inside the stadium and take a look at how it's prepping for Namaste Trump.
Absolutely, Krishna will be very soon, like Krishna mentioned, going to the venue to attend that Namaste Trump event. But Krishna, what's the security arrangements that are in place on the ground? Right. The city of Ahmedabad has been given a 7-tier security for Donald Trump's first India visit as the President of the United States of America. The 7-tier security starts with the core layer, which is the American Secret Service, the U.S. Secret Service, followed by the PSG, the SPG, beg your pardon, the Special Protection Group, the NSG, National Security Guard, the ATS, the Anti-Terror Squad, Rapid Action Force. You're talking about Gujarat Police's Commander Unit, Chetak, and other Gujarat Police personnel who have all assembled in Ahmedabad, which we need to remind the viewers, a huge chunk of the entire police force of the state of Gujarat has now been brought into Ahmedabad city for this big event. At least 500 to about 700 maximum of police patrol cars doing the rounds in the city for the last several days leading up to this event, and thousands of police personnel. We've lost count over here. We do know 10 units of the paramilitary force has also been stationed over here. So extremely tight security, the kind that even Ahmedabad, which is kind of used to hosting world leaders, even for Ahmedabad standards, this time around the security arrangements have been extremely tight, extremely secretive, to the point where whether Trump will do the road show from the airport to the stadium was not confirmed until late last afternoon, late last evening. That's when we got final confirmation. It is a confirmation now. Trump will leave the airport. There'll be music performances, cultural performances welcoming him right at the airport. From there, he will take the 22-kilometer long route. The first pit stop, or the first stop for Trump in India, will be Gandhiji's Sabarmati Ashram, where him and the First Lady will be visiting Gandhiji's house, Hriday Kunj, as well. After that short visit, they will come out and then head straight to the stadium, but they will proceed at a moderate speed. That's what we're being told. Cavalcade of Trump proceeding at a moderate speed so that he can get a view of all the colors of India, because all the performances that have been lined up for him in this half-an-hour-long road show, the performances have been from all parts of India, showcasing the rich cultural diversity. I'd like to call it the pastiche of cultures here in India, and after which it will be all about Namaste Trump, and we here at Beyond World is One will be reporting live from inside the stadium very soon. Hope to catch you there.